What is going on, guys? Happy New Year, everyone. It's 2020. Hopefully everyone had a great 2019. If not, hopefully 2020 is better for you. If you've been following me all 2019 since week one, you would have had a great season with me. Let's take a look at the 2019 record. Here it is. Lines 41 and 18. Props 44 and 22, and that's just under 70% for all those plays there. Last 2 weeks the regression came slightly, which I did expect. I personally thought it may have come in week 14 or 13, but it didn't. We were able to hold off, and slightly it did come towards the end of the season there. Playoffs are here, guys. The wild card weekend. Exciting weekend for obviously football fans, even for casual fans. People that don't watch football, they'll probably put the game on. Usually we do get some good games. So definitely excited. We have Saturday and Sunday games, guys, this weekend. So my weekend is definitely booked up here. Definitely some good games, tricky games as well, guys. Not the easiest games to cap. I do have a few plays for you guys and a couple leans. So I'm going to break down all 4 games, and then I'll also have a play for each game as well. I just want to give a shout out first to the bye teams that had the best seasons and are sitting at home watching the wildcard teams play. That's Baltimore, best team in the league this season, guys. Definitely well deserved. KC, Kansas City, took that spot over the Pats. Pats are usually on this week, on the bye week, not playing wild card weekend. So this is definitely new to them. KC with the win, and Pats losing to Miami, which was crazy. I definitely didn't see that. And we also got Green Bay in the NFC. And San Fran, solid season by San Fran. They also get the bye and are at home watching these wildcard teams play. Just want to go over some regular season stat winners with you guys before we get into the games. We are going to break down. This video is going to be a little longer than most, but hopefully you do get some good information out of this video today, guys. Let's start off with the sack leader here, guys. Look at this sack leader, Shaquille Barrett, 19.5 sacks for the Bucks this year. Really interesting. This guy was undrafted guy getting 19.5 sacks. Very impressive. Denver, I think, picked him up in 2014. Then he bounced around and ended up in Tampa Bay. So he probably will start. He'll get paid, guys. He's going to get paid 19.5 sacks. Definitely very impressive. So hopefully, he gets what he deserves, and that's a big paycheck. Let's go to wide receiver Michael Thomas. Unbelievable season for Michael Thomas. 1,725 yards. We know he broke the record for most receptions single season at 144. Very, very impressive. I think he's runner-up to Lamar Jackson. I think Russell Wilson kind of tailed off there at the end. I definitely think Michael Thomas deserves a lot of shutout, and definitely that number 2 slot behind Lamar Jackson. Running back Derrick Henry, 1,540 yards, guys. Unbelievable week 17. He ran over for 200 yards. He stole it from Chubb. Chubb had an average game, and he was able to come from behind and steal it from Chubb there. So solid season by Derrick Henry. I think this is obviously his most consistent season. He always had that breakout. He was supposed to break out a few years ago. Last year he had some good games, but not consistent. He's been consistent every week, pretty much, for the Tennessee Titans, and that's why they're in the playoffs, or at least a big reason why they're in the playoffs. Let's look at the QB, Winston. 5,109 passing yards. Unbelievable, guys. Definitely fits well in the system there, but he also did enter the 30-30 club. I don't know if he knows what that is, guys, but 30 touchdowns along with 30 picks. First QB in the NFL history to get in the 30-30 club. It's not a club you want to be in, but he's in the 30-30 club. So obviously, like if you're going to throw for that many yards, you're going to be giving up some more picks. But definitely want to try to avoid that. He's still young, right? Winston's still young. I do think he's going to have a solid career ahead of him for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is getting better and better each year. So I want to give a shout out to Christian McCaffrey, 1,000 rush yards, 1,000 receiving yards. Another great season from him. Too bad his team was shit. But hopefully they get Newton back and get back on track there. I'm going to start off with Saturday games, guys. Saturday's games. And we're going to start in Houston. Buffalo at Houston. 4:25 starts. So no 1 o'clock game on Saturday. And the play I like here, guys, I'm going to go under 44. First, I'm going to break down the game here a little bit and then go over why I like the under 44. I want to start off with the matchup of the game. It's definitely going to be Hopkins versus White. Tre'Davious White should be fun to watch, guys. I like to focus on matchups when I'm watching games. White definitely up there in the passer rating. 45% passer rating when targeted. It's ranked 7th best in the league. Just overall, though, the Buffalo defense, and White is the captain and the leader there of that defense. But just overall, the 3rd best passing defense in the league. Buffalo's weakness, I think, would be obviously the run. It's ranked around 18th in the league, allowing 4.3 yards per carry. So I look for Houston to run the ball, maybe along with Hyde and Johnson. Hyde's coming off a sneaky good season, guys. Over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. He actually been coming on as of late. I know he's been hurt a lot in the past, but I think he definitely his best season of his career. Little mix with obviously Johnson as well. Duke Johnson they throw in there. So I think they're going to run the ball a lot here, especially against how good Buffalo's pass defense is. Look for Houston to focus maybe more on the run. I don't think, I did get some news today that Fuller I don't think will be playing. Growing injuries are tough. He's always hurt. I feel bad for the guy. What a talent, but he never gets in the lineup there. So I think White should be able to take away Hopkins. Hopkins is still going to get his catches, but I don't think he's going to go for over 100 yards in some huge game. So I think Buffalo will focus on taking away Hopkins and then make Houston beat them with the run, or short passes. Focusing on Buffalo's offense here. It's one of the worst passing offenses in the league, guys. Yards per game, 26th. Completion percentage, 31st. It's very tough to watch their offense play. I did see them live against Baltimore a few weeks back, and then there's just no flow with that offense. Passing game, not that many weapons in the passing game. Sure, you got Brown, but he's only a deep threat, right? Beasley, not bad, but just not consistent. He'll get your 3, 4, 5 catches, but not a lot of yards. Obviously Singletary is their focus, and I do look for him to have a big game here. Definitely taking his prop over on receiving and rushing total. I think it's around 84, but you'll see that in the article this week. Good news for Houston. Watt's going to be back for this game, guys. J.J. Watt's going to be back. I don't know how much he's going to play, but he's just going to bring that uplifting spirit. He's going to be able to rush the passer, so definitely a big thing for Houston. Houston's rush D also towards the bottom of the league. That's why I said I like Singletary early on. I do think he's going to have a big game. Even Allen's going to run too, right? He's, I think, over 500 yards this season. Most touchdowns for a quarterback as well. So definitely look for Buffalo to run the ball. And that's where I'm going to go to the final here, saying why I like the under. Is I think there's going to be a lot of running in this game. Obviously, Buffalo's defense is solid, and I'm not sold on their offense. So I do think Buffalo's D is good enough to maintain Watson. I think Watson will have a pretty decent game. But Buffalo's weakness is their rush D. So I do look for Houston to focus more on that and maybe some short passes. So I do like the under here, under 44. Definitely take a look at that. All right, guys, next game here. We got New England and Tennessee for the night game. I've been going back and forth with this game, guys, but I do like Titans +5. I'm going to take the points here. And this is a game I think the Titans could win. I think they can flat out go into New England and win this game. Let's take a look at the couple headlines of this game. Definitely the big story, I think, is Ryan Tannehill and his season. What a season for Ryan Tannehill. What a good decision to put him in there and take out Mariota. Definitely fits his system really well. He had the best passer rating in the league this season. I personally just found that out this week. I wasn't aware of that. I know he was having a great season, but that's very impressive. A.J. Brown has stepped up to be their number one in this offense. Now, Gilmore probably will take him out of the game, but they do have some other targets with Smith as their tight end. Corey Davis may show up here. I do think, obviously, Derrick Henry is going to be the focal point of this game. He can catch a little bit out of the backfield, but he's going to rush on these guys because we know New England's obviously ranked first overall yards per game, points per game. So I do think Henry's going to be getting the ball over 20 times in this game. So look for the Henry props to go over as well. This is the time of the year, though, where obviously New England plays well. New England hasn't been playing good football all year, guys. Maybe they played one or two good games all year. Brady just hasn't been himself. He doesn't have the weapons around him. Edelman's banged up. They don't have a tight end. So there's a lot of reasons why. I think New England's going to probably pull off the win. But I think Tennessee could easily win this game as well. So this is why I'm going to take the plus 5 points. It started at 3.5. It went up to 5. I've seen some 5.5s. Obviously, if there's a 5.5, jump on the 5.5. I got it at 5. So I think Titans, like I said, could win this game. But I'm going to take the plus 5 here. And hopefully that they do show up, even though they don't have any big wins on the road or anything like that. But New England doesn't have any big wins either, right? So take the points with Tennessee at plus 5. Vikings at Saints. This is a Sunday game, guys. Sunday, 1 p.m. No play in this game. But I do have a lean for you guys, and it's going to be leaning over 49. Now, we know both these teams can score, guys. This is a rematch from last year. However, this time it's in New Orleans. I think New Orleans definitely wants a revenge. I do think New Orleans will win this game, but you never know when these two teams play. Story here is definitely Breeze and Thomas combo. Can Minnesota slow down Thomas? I don't think so. They don't have a shutdown corner. Breeze has looked great, especially after that injury. 110 plus passer rating in his last 6 games. Minnesota will definitely try and take away Thomas, but they're not going to be able to. He's going to get his 8 to 10 catches for over 100 yards. They do have other weapons, though. Obviously, Kamara. I feel like they've been saving a little bit for the playoffs here. Cook's been solid for them at tight end as well. I just don't think Minnesota will have enough to keep up. But I do think they can score as well. Cook is back. We know Thielen's back. Obviously Diggs. So I do think Minnesota could score here. So I'm leaning. Take a look at that. Like New Orleans, the past 3 games they combined total of 160 points, guys. So I do think, New Orleans will get into 30s, high 30s, even maybe 40. But Minnesota should be able to score a little bit as well. I lean 49 over 49, not an official play though. Last game here, guys, Seattle at Philly. I'm going to go under 45.5, and that is going to be a lean as well. Under 45.5. I do think it's a Week 12 rematch where obviously it was low scoring. Both these teams are really banged up. You don't know what to get from these guys. Their defense, it's in the middle. Nothing special here. Last time they played, it was in Philly, same circumstances, but Rashard Penny was the highlight and the winner of that game, rushing over 100 yards. No Penny in this game. No Carson. They had to sign Marshawn Lynch, which was a big downgrade. He didn't play that well last week. So if Seattle wants to win this game, it's going to be Russell Wilson, right? Wilson will have to try to win this one on his own, in my opinion. Philly's pass D has picked up recently. They weren't playing that well at the beginning of the season. A lot of injuries over there too, but they have been playing better. Their backups have been playing a lot better. This Boston Scott guy is the new talk of the town in Philly, and they're just finding a way to win games. Wentz is playing a lot better. So I do think Philly could win this game. It's tough to call the side. It's probably the hardest game of the week, for me at least. But we still don't know who's playing for Philly. Ertz, I think, will be back. Sanders should be back as well. But I'm staying away from any side here. But if I did have to play something, it's going to be under 45.5. So I do lean the under 45.5, guys. Hopefully you guys, like I said before, tailed me all season. We definitely had a really good season. I'm going to start, obviously, the record's still a new record for the playoffs. Like I said, we're on the 2 plays here, and then also the leans as well. So hopefully you guys got some good information there, and you do tail this week for the wildcard playoffs. Enjoy the wildcard playoffs, guys. I will leave you with an alternate line parlay. I think this is a good week to do teasers, so mix it up. If you like a team, tease it up, tease it down. But I'm going to give you an alternate line parlay here. We did hit it last week. Broke even last week. Because of the alternate line parlay. I was on Saints money line here, guys, and the Bills +4. So we're going to go to the Saints money line and Bills +4. You're going to get that at even money. Take a look at that. But yeah, you may want to play around with some teasers this week. All 4 games are pretty tough to call. All right, guys, I'll be back next week with the playoffs. This is the wild card playoffs. I'll be back next week with the actual playoffs. And hopefully we continue to profit for the wild card playoffs and the playoffs all the way to the Super Bowl. All right, guys, like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care, guys.